YouTube. How we doing today, family? It's your boy Yo Hoops. This is another episode of Fading the Public. We go through every NBA game every day. Today's January 12th, 2025, and we have a 9-game NBA slate, pretty big card. I'm not in love with today's slate, I can't lie to you, but we have a few games that I like, and I have one highlighted play of the day. So make sure you guys tune in. We're absolutely on fire. We're on a 10-1 run on our highlighted plays. Without further ado, guys, let me get into today's video. Recapping yesterday, we went 1-0 on our highlighted. Again, guys, the run continues. We're 10-1 run on our highlighted. Overall, on every highlighted play I've had this year, we're 16-5. So we're up big units, guys. Yesterday, we took the Memphis Grizzlies plus 1.5 against the Minnesota Timberwolves in Minnesota. The game was an absolute thriller. It came down to the very end. Ja Morant came through for us with a game-winning layup. I was able to catch the money line at plus 475 in the fourth quarter. So that was just a huge cash, guys. The run continues, like I said. I have another play of the day that I'm going to hit today. I'm looking to knock it out. Make sure you guys tune in because this is going to be a good one. Like I said, I'm not in love with the whole card, but we're going to find our spots and we're going to kill it today. Let me get into the video. In our first matchup of the afternoon, we have the Denver Nuggets in Dallas taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Nuggets are laying 5 points and the total is 229. Off rip, the 5-point line seems short to me. I know the Mavs are extremely banged up still. No Luka, no Kyrie. So I feel like Denver should be bigger favorites here. That's a bit concerning to me. When I look at the injury report for the Nuggets, Jamal Murray is questionable and Jokic is probable. So Jokic is something to keep an eye on, but it looks like he will go in this situation. I think that Jamal Murray doesn't play. That's what this -5 Denver line tells me. And I think that a lot of people think that Westbrook can't get the job done as the starting point guard for the Nuggets. I'm here to disagree there. I think that Jokic and Westbrook are playing real good together. And I think that the Mavs banged up like this, the Nuggets will easily be able to cover this 5-point line. So our first selection of the day, we're going to take the Denver Nuggets minus the 5 points. Moving forward. In our next matchup of the afternoon, we have the Milwaukee Bucks in New York taking on the New York Knicks. Knicks are laying 4 points and the total is 227.5. The Knicks have performed in this spot as home favorites. They're 9-7-1 ATS this season in this spot, so you've been making money with them. Milwaukee is getting healthy, though. I know they haven't been good against the spread or really in general this season, but they are getting healthy. Giannis, Dame, and Chris Middleton are all probable, so they should go. I would definitely keep an eye on that, though, because if anyone is ruled out, the line will change. The Knicks and the Bucks, I think this is a grudge match here. They always play defensive style games. I know that they have some high scoring potential on these teams, but I think in this matchup, there's not as many fast break opportunities, and they play a lot of set offense where it can take 20 seconds of possession. I think the 227 is set too high. So I look for them to play defense in this game. I'm going to take the under 227.5 as our next selection of the day. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Sacramento Kings in Chicago taking on the Chicago Bulls. Kings are laying 4 points and the total is 238.5. In this spot, the Kings have been letting down all season. As road favorites, they're 3-6 ATS this season, so you've been losing a bunch there. When Sacramento has expectations, in my opinion, that's when they just don't perform. When people think they're supposed to win, they almost never show up. The Bulls, on the other hand, we've been able to make money in spots. We've also been losing betting against them a little bit. They're on a 5-2 run in their last 7. So they've been hooping. DeRozan obviously is having a revenge game here in Chicago. He's back in the team that traded him away. I think that he has a big game. I'm looking at DeRozan over the 23.5 points as a player prop to give out here. I think that he shows up in Chicago, lets them know, hey, you shouldn't have traded me. But in this game, I'll personally lean towards the Bulls plus the 4 points. I just can't lay points on the road with Sacramento. Let's move. In our next matchup of the night, we have the Indiana Pacers in Cleveland taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs are laying 9 points and the total is 238.5. This is a fantastic game to watch. This is a battle of the modern NBA heavyweights. I don't think people quite realize Cleveland and Indiana these days are like some of the best teams in the league. So this is going to be a real good game to watch. The Cavs are on an 11-game win streak. We know that. They also took out OKC's win streak. Quite impressive. The Cavs have also been exceptional as home favorites. So they're 14-7 ATS this season. They've been showing up. The Pacers have making us a ton of bread as well, though. The Pacers have been showing up for us. They're 7-3 in their last 10. The Cavs didn't cover in their last matchup against the Raptors as well. We took the Raptors plus the 15.5 points. Cavs ended up winning the game like we thought. But in my opinion, they're becoming a bit overvalued just because they've been so good against the spread and just in general this season. So I like the Pacers. I'm going to take the Pacers plus the 9 in this spot. I think they show up and they keep it a competitive game. Moving forward. In our next matchup of the evening, we have the New Orleans Pelicans in Boston taking on the Boston Celtics. Celtics are laying 14.5 and the total is 227. This is a bit of a tough spot for me to analyze. It seems to me like Boston is due for a lock-in spot. I mean, they just lost outright on the money line as 12-point favorites at home against the Sacramento Kings. So I think they want to bounce back, get a big win at home. But then when I look at the Pelicans, we know they're getting healthy. We were able to cash with them yesterday. I know they're on a back-to-back, but it looks like Zion will play. Trey Murphy III will play. He's back. And DeJounte Murray's questionable. In my opinion, I think the Pelicans can compete here. I'm going to take the Pelicans plus the 14.5, but I would also take a look on the money line. We saw the Celtics just lose as 12-point favorites. I wouldn't be surprised to see them lose here, and that plus 750 on the money line is going to go a long way. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder in Washington taking on the Washington Wizards. OKC is laying 16 points, and the total is 230.5. This is a huge number to cover, the 17 points. The Thunder would basically be having to rout them all game, be beating them every quarter almost. And in this situation, I think it's probably warranted. OKC's been one of the best money-making teams all season. We know that. As road favorites, they're 10-5-1 ATS this season. We've been cashing with them big. I think OKC's playing locked in. They're 16-1 in their last 17. And the Wizards, when they lose, they get absolutely blown out. So I can't look in their direction. I'll lean towards OKC minus the 16.5. It's not a premium play. But I would also look at OKC in the first half. So see what they're laying in the first half, because a lot of times they like to come out and whoop up on the other team in the beginning of the game. So we'll lean towards OKC minus the 16.5. Moving forward. In our next matchup, we have the Philadelphia 76ers in Orlando taking on the Orlando Magic. Magic are laying 1.5 points, and the total is 206. The Magic, they're starting to see some light at the end of the injury tunnel. So I'm looking at their injury report, and it looks like Paolo Banchero is supposed to play today. So him being back, that's absolutely huge. He's the leader of that team. That's why the Magic are laying 1.5 here. I still think Paolo has some adjusting to do, though. I don't think he comes out straight hooping, especially on the offensive end. He's the type of guy who he has to get in a rhythm, start making. He takes a lot of mid-range jump shots, so it takes a while to get into that kind of rhythm. When I look at this game a little closer, you know we've been cashing unders with the Magic like none other. We're up pretty big money taking these unders with them. And that's because they score the least points per game in the league while also being the number one defense in the league. So that's just a recipe for an under. Then when I look at the 76ers, they score the 26th most points in the league. So I really think the 206 somehow is too high. I lean towards the Magic laying the 1.5 points, but we're going to rock with this under 206 as my highlighted play of the day. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Brooklyn Nets in Utah taking on the Utah Jazz. Jazz are laying 4 points, and the total is 216. I know the Nets are extremely banged up, of course, missing a majority of their stars still. Really only Nick Claxton going in terms of their stars and starting five. But this road underdog spot has been the Nets' money making spot. So they're 12, 7, and 1 ATS as road underdogs. This is where they've been making money. This is the first time all season that the Jazz have been favorited at home. And that kind of tells me something. They haven't been able to get the job done at home, obviously. I lean towards the Nets plus the 4 points. This is not my favorite game. But when I look a little closer, okay, the Nets score the 28th points per game in the league. So they're way down there in points per game. And the Jazz score the 21st points per game. So these are two bottom 10 offenses in the league. I don't think a ton of defense is played here, but I think the 216 total tells you everything you need to know. We're going to rock with the under 216 in the Jazz and Nets as my next selection of today. Moving forward. In our last and final matchup of the night, we have the Charlotte Hornets in Phoenix taking on the Phoenix Suns. Suns are laying 7.5 points, and the total is 224. The Suns have let us down on multiple occasions this season. It hasn't been fun betting on the Suns. The most recent was yesterday. We took the 10.5 against the Jazz, laid it with the Suns, and they blew us with a backdoor cover. They were up 16 with like 2 minutes left, and they won the game by 8. Crazy. So the Suns, we know they haven't been making money as favorites at home. They're 4-12 ATS on the season in this spot. Absolutely horrible. Here on the back-to-back with tired legs, I can't even imagine laying the 7.5 with the Suns at this point. I'm sick of them. Just out of spite alone, we're taking the Hornets. When I look, they have a clean injury report. And in the last matchup with the Hornets and the Suns, we cashed with the Hornets money line for plus money. So I know they can get the job done. For our next selection of the night and our last selection, we're taking the Charlotte Hornets plus the 7.5 points and take a sprinkle on the money line as well. This should make a premium play just on spite alone for the Suns, but it's gonna pass on a highlighted play. It'll just be our regular selection. And that's gonna conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. It's your boy, Yo Hoops. And this was another episode of Fading the Public. We've been on absolute fire, guys. On our highlighted plays, we're on a 10-1 run. The Grizzlies cash yesterday was unbelievable. We caught the money line at plus 475 in the fourth quarter. They pulled it off. Overall, we're 16-5 on every highlighted play I've given out. I'm up 11 units at this point to start 2025. Guys, all I ask from you is to like this video. I'm going to be here every day giving you guys bangers, giving you good content. I like our play today, that under 206 in that Magic game. We're coming for it. We're coming for 11-1. Without further ado, guys, I won't hold you up, but it's been your boy, Yo Hoops, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.